The end of 2023, issue number 25, I was, all right, listen, this would be a good chance for folks to get in on Gunslinger Spawn, have a good time enjoying this. If you haven't already or you're having difficulty finding the earlier issues or stories, things like that, the art was fantastic. Things were cruising along and they're ready. Pivotal point where things had changed in the Spawn universe. And for a brief period of time, I thought Javier was going to lose his powers. He could showcase his cunning, cool skills that everybody talks about regularly in this book. But sadly, that's not what we had. Todd McFarlane has now spent a year of doing nothing that we can enjoy. So, what did we get? We got Javier being on a road trip with the maid from the hotel. That's right. So, it is just as bad as you can see. He doesn't know how to read, he doesn't know how anything works, and he doesn't have any powers. So, therefore, he lets her kind of call the shots and lecture him regularly and kind of not tell her his whole story because she's obviously not going to believe him because he can't do the things he was able to do a few minutes ago. And it's just insufferable and it just keeps going on and on and on. While we do get some action, we get some blood and chaos, it's few and far between compared to how it used to be before. And it's definitely not as interesting. It's usually broken up with dialogue and lecturing and speeches. And again, more road trip nonsense. But it does come. And the sad thing is you feel like you want to get a hold of them and go, this is actually what we want. Issue number 36 to me was the most egregious error. This was literally a year after me praising the title at issue number 25. And this is an issue where absolutely nothing happens in our real time. So Gunslinger has been injured. There's a massive flashback. There's all this conversation going on. And then it just keeps going. It talks about this hospital, these doctors not knowing what to do. There's flashbacks. Of course, we get all the stuff that happens in the past. But again, he fights briefly with this police officer and then nothing else. Oh, no, it was just a vision. Oh, we're going to go a little further. And they're like, we're going to have some tests done. And then we're going to police and an attorney. None of this is interesting. And then, yeah, by the way, Linda goes to see the shaman. And the shaman spells out all the truths of what actually has been going on. This is all flashback, though. None of this is in real time. This has all been happening in the past. And none of this is actually relevant to what's going on right now. We cut to the lawyer meeting with Javier. Then we go back and forth with the attorney and other government agencies and people like that telling her to get off the case. And then we come to the end where this being breaks in. That's right. Here you go. We're going to get some cool stuff, right? All right. That's the end of the issue. So this is an issue of nothing. And I think this is the issue with Gunslinger Spawn. He needs to get back to what makes Gunslinger fun. The art is great. Carlo Barbieri is fine coming in after Brett Booth with big shoes to fill, by the way. Has done a fine job. The art's not the problem. The story. And I think we're at the typical point where Todd McFarlane is out over his skis. I don't know if he's not plotted things out far enough in advance, knows where he's going. He hasn't created enough floats. When's the last time we saw Dakota? Like he has the one little dinosaur in his pocket, and that comes the fiery horse that saves him because he didn't have powers, so he was saved by something else. Like, can we get back to what's actually relevant to this character, or just stop and just let the new Gunslinger Spawn story and the stuff in the past stand on its own? Because right now, this is a mess, and it's not helping your cause any, man. It's just not. So that's my take and update on Gunslinger Spawn and why you're not getting videos. It's just me whining about. First off, it's a beautiful book. It's not an art issue. It's mostly a story issue. It's meandering of story. It's not that it's horrible. It just doesn't go anywhere. So it's one of these things where if you were to read, let's say, 10 issues, it could have really been done in like 4 or 5. Like we didn't need all this fluff, all this nonsense. Nobody cares. We don't care. That's not what we're buying your comic books for. Anyway, there you go. That's my take on it. You guys can correct me in the comments. Let me know. I am Pops.